I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Welcome to the Welcome to the 3-on-3 podcast. That's right. You're tuned in to the number one basketball podcast in the universe. I'm joined by my compadres amigos. I got Ev here with me, my boy Lou, and the Pod Mamba in the background, making sure that we are on point and continue to deliver that fire NBA knowledge for you guys today. We have a great
Not new to this,
show.
true to this.
Yes, sir. We have a great show in store for you today. We'll be talking about next steps for the teams that were bounced out of the semifinals. And then we'll be discussing the East Conference Finals matchup. Yes, Ev is bouncing and ready to go on the edge of his seat. And then we're going to be talking about the Western Conference Finals. We got the young guns out here letting everybody know they here, the Titans. But let's start off with the teams that were bounced, guys, from the semifinals. We'll start with the Denver Nuggets. Start with them, guys. They lost a game 7 against the OKC Thunder. I will say the game was close on the first half. And then, man, OKC kicked it up to another gear and started to pull away. Had a lead up to more than 20, almost 30 at one point. And you guys knew, you know what? That's curtains. It's all she wrote. Aaron Gordon out here playing on half a leg. um, it was a valiant effort by the Denver Nuggets, guys, but they fall short. I'll start with you, Ev. They had a turbulent year. You know, they fired both the coach and the GM. Interestingly enough, they brought the coach on ESPN. ESPN is shady, boy. They to do a little commentary on the
Shady, messy,
I'm telling you,
taking a page out
petty.
of TMZ and the shade room.
Right. Petty for that. They say, hey man, you just got fired. Come on the show real quick. But anywho, I want to get
We're
your
gonna get
thoughts
some clicks
first,
out of
man.
this one.
Right. What do you think the next steps are for Denver, man? Where do they go from here? Do they need to sell off pieces? Do they need to keep it together? I mean, they did make it to the semifinals where people were thinking, hey, they may not even make it this far. So what are your thoughts initially?
Well, I think first obvious one is Adam and the coach for this team going forward, right? You look at it glass half full. They did make it to the second round when he took over with like a week or so left in the season. I don't think folks expected them to get past the Clippers based with the turmoil that they had. Push the OKC Thunder, the best team in the league during the regular season, to 7 games. You know, the first quarter of the game, it looked like they were in it. They might have been able to slug it out before the dam broke come halftime and after. So I think that's their first question, right? Is Adelman the answer? Did he show enough that you trust him carrying this team going forward? After that, you've got to undo a combination of both what Mike Malone and Calvin Booth, the GM, did over the last few years. And here's what I mean by that. You have Jokic, which, you know, fingers crossed, he's not going to get frustrated and he's loyal. You've got Murray, which you hope that health is a positive, not a negative for him going forward. So you can get some healthy years out of him, getting him close to what he's been in his prime. And you've got Gordon, who, you know, hamstring, he'll be back from that, right? Outside of that, the rest of this roster is up for debate. Michael Porter Jr., understand he was hurt, but
Shoulder.
I understand it, but he has been
All
both
playoffs.
inconsistent and polarizing the entirety
Lackluster.
of his career. For the contract that he has, right? You need to try to upgrade that piece. Christian Brown, I'm gonna come back to him because he's been solid. Don't get me wrong, he's been solid. But the rest of the pieces on the roster, the Watsons, the Strothers, etc., you have not seen the development from this bench anywhere outside of those four players that gives you confidence that they have a roster that can compete going forward. Russ has one more year on his deal. He kind of imploded here in the second round of the playoffs after that story dropped that I discussed,
Yeah.
that questioned the chemistry of the team. I don't know if it was that story or being back in the OKC. Something happened with him mentally. He wasn't there. So if that
You
was the
think he was
best
giving his
case you
guys some
got,
some love, yo?
I don't
He
know
was
what
giving
it
his
was.
guys some love. Try to give him
I
over a
think
pass.
he was
Check
conflicted
his fan note.
riding down those familiar roads. But Denver has a lot of questions on his roster going forward. I'd say outside of Joker, Gordon, and I'll say Murray. I'll throw Brown in there. But outside of that, some serious questions, some serious upgrades if this team is going to compete going forward in an increasingly difficult Western Conference.
I'll say this, and then I'll let Lou have his say real quick. I think it's concerning if you're a Denver Nugget fan or if you're in the front office, if your most consistent players out of that roster that you just named are Jokic, Gordon, and Braun.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that's concerning if you're a Denver Nugget fan or in the front office. What's your take on Denver, Lou?
Well, Hans, no, I'm about to say, I mean, I'm gotta switch back on that. Like, what you saying that's concerning. So, which are the pieces that are missing that should be the ones that are consistent if it's just Joker, Brown, and Gordon?
Yeah, that means
Which are the pieces that
Jamal
are
and Porter are two pieces that you definitely have to figure out what you're going to do about it. Because I want to push back on what Ev was saying in the sense of career years. When did Jamal, he had one career year? What was that? COVID bubble? Was that his career year?
COVID year.
Right? So,
That
and
was
even that
career,
year,
and then the championship year
the
was the year
championship,
that he
right?
also
So
then showed out.
two out of all
Yep.
the years you've been there, like, come on,
Mhm.
man. You're like Ev, you've said this before, it's been quoted. He's injured more often than not. And then I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but Michael Porter Jr. is just another Andrew Wiggins potential. They're the same player to me. I'm
Wow,
sorry. They're the same
Andrew
player.
Wiggins. Wow,
Andrew Wiggins is
wow.
potential. So if I'm Denver, man, you got some decisions you have to make. You have some decisions you might have to make. I'd get off Murray. His stock is higher. You'd get a more of a load from him than you would Porter. Um, I don't know what else you can do with the ancillary pieces that they have, like you said, the Watkins and such. But I'm gonna be real, man. Porter and Jamal, they're on the chopping block for me if I'm Denver.
I
So
don't.
Porter for sure. I agree with you in terms of Porter. Jamal, I don't know if I can necessarily say Jamal, right? So when we look at the games in which Denver lost, right? Jamal scored, I mean, under 20 points, right? Which is just unacceptable because you're the number two guy, and also you're supposed to be all-star level play, right? So it's unacceptable for you to do that. You have an amazing game when you're facing elimination. You force a game seven, but then in game seven, non-existent. Um, Christian Brown, great to see him balling, but you don't expect for him to do this and make this type of production every night. He's one of the guys that you look at when you look at the depth of your bench, right? And as we looked at some of these teams, and how we laud the Western Conference is because of these teams that have now risen to the top of the crop that have got this far is because they've been able to have a supporting cast that have been able to come through and be able to bolster the team and get them uh, through these games. So a team like Denver, Brown is something. Yeah, we expect you to do that. Westbrook, some guy that we expect you to lead that second unit. Even if you're not necessarily producing, we know what you do from the intangibles aspect. Um, the biggest disappointment is really Michael Porter Jr. There's a certain level that we've expected him to achieve from what we've seen in college. I mean, honestly, to be real, like Michael Porter Jr. is one of the guys that I've followed since his high school years. And before his back injury, was somebody that actually was, potentially somebody that could have gone first round and top 5 pick. And due to that back injury, ended up falling to being the last pick of that first round when he got drafted, just because he was a variable. And then, Denver was, thought that, hey, based on his ceiling, this is somebody that we think could really get us there. But it hasn't paid dividends, unfortunately. But having a guy like Aaron Gordon, who I don't think anybody necessarily expected him to rise to the level of play he had. Yes, in Orlando, they had put him as, the cornerstone of their team and been the guy that they, expected to, lead their team. And then for him to now be part of Denver, and not just be part of Denver, but also being a staple in terms of how they're able to win games, whether it's from his defensive perspective or from his offensive ability as well, is a team that is he's exceeded the ceiling that we expected. But yeah, I think that Michael Porter Jr. is absolutely somebody that's on the table.
Yeah,
Jamal Murray, I don't know if we give him up yet, because I
I
see
agree.
Jamal like, yo, we seen Jamal in game 6. If I can get that Jamal,
Yeah,
even if I could get that Jamal
but that's the thing though.
most of the series.
If you have to say that, I think it's an issue. Go ahead, Ev, real quick before we move to the Celtics.
Well, that's why what's interesting and why I kind of put Christian Brown on another table is that I don't think you're trading Jamal nor Michael Porter Jr. and getting a better player because of what we've seen from this point from them and the contracts that they
I think you
carry.
can.
I mean,
Michael Porter,
it takes one
Porter,
sucker. But
Jamal for Jaylen Brown, the Celtics. Who says no? That's what I'm saying.
Oh wow, that's crazy. That's so wild.
I
That's
think
so wild.
Boston says no to that.
But you
But
have Michael Porter Jr., who is a lesser version of Tatum. So like you don't want that at all. At all.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead, Ev, real quick. Finish up.
No, you're good. Just basically my thought. I think Christian Brown has. I think he's an asset that maybe you could package or something to get a better player, but it's complicated to do that when you don't know what's happening with Porter. Or I'll say with Porter. I think Murray is going to be there, but Porter's definitely. They've got to get an answer for that situation, and try
Sorry
to
to like
improve
let
that
me jump
spot.
in. And what's the difference between Brown and Mike Miller?
I think their attitude with a value contract. Brown and Gordon were the most reliable defenders in the playoffs. So I think there's consistency in what you're getting from Brown, and like I said, just value in the contract. You've seen his growth over the past 3 years. He's turned into a better version of himself each year. I think for the contract that Porter's carrying, even what Murray's carrying to an extent, those are just tough contracts to move off on for the value of
So
the
you think
player.
Brown is a better version of Mike Miller?
I mean, Mike Miller was a beast. Don't get me wrong.
No, Brown's not a better version of Mike Miller.
Yeah.
He's not a better version.
That's why
All
I
right,
asked that
y'all.
question.
Let's move on to the east side of things. Celtics, we already kind of touched on it a little bit, but we all know there was a devastating injury to Jason Tatum. Blown Achilles. He's out for 8 to 12 months. The Celtics, they have a lot of questions to answer. As reported by our Pod Mamba, they have about $500 million in salary cap that they potentially could be paying if they don't come off of these contracts. So it's hypothesized that a move needs to be made, or they pay that luxury tax and keep it moving. I'll start off with Lou on this one since I started with Ev on the last one. Is there a move to be made if you're the Boston Celtics, or do you hold down pat? Even though Tatum, is really not going to be back next season per se, right? Like barring a Wolverine-like healing, he is young. But barring a Wolverine like carrying,
Give
and how
give
much
give him
is
some
this luxury tax?
adamantium in the system.
Right, right. And how much is this luxury tax on their mind?
So, if I'm the Celtics, just want to first and foremost backtrack. Let's put some respect on Tatum's name because everybody used the opportunity for games. You know, what I mean, when the Celtics were able to win without Tatum on the court to be able to focus on Brown and say, oh yeah, this is the person that gives the grit of the team, et cetera, et cetera. And then, we saw how abysmal they played in the elimination game in which they lost. And where they truly missed Tatum, and everything he did and everything that they tried to laud about Brown, we saw all the holes of it. So first and foremost, again, get well soon, Tatum, and also put some respect on Tatum and who he is and what he means to that Celtics team. But in terms of to your question, I think that what you then look at is what do we do with KP for real? At this point, uh, without him really necessarily, because if KP's healthy, does the series look a little bit different? Based on what we're paying him, do we need to necessarily keep him? Do we look at maybe potentially moving Al Horford, looking for a younger version? Like, what can we package with these two guys? Uh, I think that what they start looking at is some of their ancillary guys. What do we then do to kind of again continue to maintain the roster because they do have a depth in terms of their bench? How do we then continue to keep a roster that has a lot of usage in terms of role players around the main guys that we have? Because having Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, you got this far to be able to get the success that you've had. And realistically, you had the potential to go right back to the finals, barring the fact that you had this particular injury with Tatum. So, yes, I do think you stay down pat. You continue to rock out with the team that you have and the success that you have. I have that is ancillary to this that, you know, may warrant a different conversation is in terms of the coaching. Is Missoula necessarily the coach that they need to really get them, or was it necessarily Ime that got them to where they needed to, and
So
then
he's riding off of Ime
Missoula was able
coattails.
to just walk them over the finish line? Another conversation. Like that's in terms of my personal opinion, because in terms of watching the game and seeing what they were doing, the strategy in which they played,
Yeah.
I think
He's-
they necessarily shot themselves in the foot rather than actually put themselves in a position to be successful. So
He didn't see any
I
second
think
half adjustments,
coaching
is
is a
what you're
conversation.
saying?
There were no adjustments, right? There were no. Tibbs did everything that Tibbs was supposed to do, and Missoula he got out coached, plain and simple. But directly to answer your question, yeah,
is
you stay down, Pat. Maybe you look at some of the ancillary guys and what can we make
is that
package and move
flawed?
around to be able to get where we are.
Is that flawed logic though? If you
Is it though?
have been no, I'm just throwing it out there. I guess it may be rhetorical. Is it
Yeah.
flawed logic to keep doing what got you to the second place? You know what I'm saying? To number 2 in the East and ultimately got you a championship last year. Like, is it flawed logic to keep doing what you're doing? Be who you are, which is shooting a lot of threes and putting the ball in Tatum's hand. Now, granted, they do play some good defense. They played better defense
Mhm.
last year, I think, statistically than what they did this year.
I'm about to say
But,
They-
that was a
but
big fall off on
yeah,
their
they
end.
did fall off defensively, so I'll give them that. But I guess for me, it's like everybody just giving that criticism. Now, granted, they did get that criticism last year, but they were winning, they were going in. So it's like, yo, like these Monday night, you know, NBA critiquers, like, oh, this is the strategy sucks, whatever. It's just not going in. But y'all weren't saying that when it was going in last year. So I don't know. And y'all
Well,
know
They were though,
I'm not
but
a
like
I
Bron
think,
fan.
a clock
yeah,
is right. A lot can be clock can be right twice,
You're right.
even when it's
A
broken.
broke clock
So
is
I'm saying
twice
so.
right a day. Is right twice a day. So I
I
get it.
think,
But
I
if it
think
was
a
right at the right
consistent
time, and that's what
criticism.
got them the chip, it got them the chip. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of how the basis, right? Like we talked about in terms of Kerr when he inherited this Warriors team, in terms of what what Mark Jackson was able to do in terms of the construct of the team, right? What Ime had did in terms of the construct of the team made them primed to be in a position to be able to win further down the line between Ime and what Ainge did and so on. Like
Yeah. Sorry
you
to cut
had
you off,
all the
Lou.
tools, you had all the pieces.
We got a couple seconds. Go ahead, Ev. Get your point off real quick before we go
Oh,
on.
my fault. Sorry.
Real quick, $500 million for this team, not gonna work. KP, you never know what's going on with them. You got what you wanted out of KP with the chip. Drew, when you look at his contract for the next 3 years, he looked like he lost a step in the second round of the playoffs. Here's what you do. Kevin, I almost gave it away. Chris Dobbs and Drew Holiday for Kevin Durant, who says no when KD wants to be out of Phoenix.
That's a good question. Can't answer it right now. We got to move on. I would say concern is how financially does it get you below? Because
You get 1 year KD, and then you get rid of the last 3 years of Drew, so you reset the tax after next year. But continue.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that, but that's not bad though. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Makes them interesting. I like that.
FKD.
Hit us up, guys. Hit us up in the chat. Let us know what you think about that. Hit us up on social media. Let us know. Let's move on to Ev's favorite topic right now, man. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals. The New York Knickerbockers are out here, baby. They're looking to defeat the Indiana Pacers. Ev,
The old rivalry resurged. Rivalry resurged. I love to see it.
Ev, as a New York fan,
I said maybe.
Maybe. Listen, I stand
That means
by
you have
it.
no faith in Indiana.
I stand by it. They're frauds. Okay. Ev, I need to sweep them. Okay. 4-0. All right.
Wow.
4-0.
Wow.
It needs to happen.
Wow.
I'll give you 4-1.
Wow.
4-0 needs to happen.
Wow.
But Ev, man,
What
this
is
is
the
your
brand of
time.
the broom, Hans?
Listen, man, I'm here. I don't have a broom. I have a Swiffer here.
My bad. Let Ev do it. Talk this talk. My fault.
Ev, man, your New York Knicks are here. How are you feeling as a Knicks fan, man, right now? How is Nickdom, the kingdom of Nickdom, feeling, man? How does it feel? You guys nervous? Or you guys confident, thinking you're finals bound?
Well, how the flowers looking in that garden?
First off, I mean, feeling great to come off of this series. Shout out to everybody that celebrated Friday night. Well deserved. If you hated on celebrations, you're just a hater. You don't like joy and good things. And so, reevaluate yourself
Bing bong.
instead of worrying about what we have going on in Manhattan. As far as going into this series, I'll be honest, I'm confidently nervous. And here's why. First off, from a Knicks standpoint, we match up well with this team from the standpoint of how we've unlocked some of our offensive and defensive malaise in this last series. I told you, series 1 against Detroit, we needed that fight to get the dog back about us. We found some defensive intensity to match our offensive intensity. Round 2 against Boston, we had to unlock this Jalen or bust offense version of us. We found some continuity, especially with Mikal, especially with OG. So we're a team that is finding the best version of ourselves right now, and that gives me confidence. Where I have concern is that Indiana is very secure in who they are.
Yeah.
They've been this since last year. They trust their depth. They trust their game plan. They're gonna pester
100%.
Jalen with these full court TJ McConnell, Aaron Nesmith headaches. So we have a team coming in that's very comfortable in themselves. That's the reason they were able to break Cleveland, because they were very comfortable in who they are. Now, I do expect Cat to have a better series in this series. He matches up very well against Miles Turner. They don't have the size inside defensively, so he should have a much better series than he did.
As agile. That's where I.
But
you say
again,
he is agile as Miles?
Yeah,
You're saying
I
is he
it's
as agile, Lou? He's
I
more
mean,
agile
yeah.
than Miles.
yeah, I think Miles Turner is
I
his.
don't agree.
I think the
Oh,
I think that
defensive
in
rep
terms of
is overrated for Miles Turner.
yeah.
That's
Miles
just me.
Turner, yeah, I agree. Like
I
Cat
feel like he's
has
lost a step and a
as the
half.
biggest cat hater here, my issue, and no, I'm proud to say it. My issue with Cat
yeah,
in
no,
the
I know.
last series is that although he put up great numbers, they were sneaky great
Garbage
numbers.
numbers.
They were
Garbage
sneaky
numbers. It
great
was
I'm
numbers,
garbage
not.
numbers.
right?
I'm not allowing
But
this.
I know
but
you don't want to subscribe to that, but
what I'm saying is with this series, Cat has the overwhelming mismatch over Miles Turner, over Obi Toppin, to where he should be a defining, getting shot like numbers and dominating. You get that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I disagree with you there, Lou. I feel like Cat is agile enough to defend Miles Turner and to also keep him honest on the offensive end as well. Like, this is Cat's series to really remind people why they traded for him. You get what I'm saying with the Julius
yeah,
Randle. This is
That's what we're
his
supposed to see from
yeah,
Cat in
I
this
think
series.
that's the
Yeah.
next level.
yeah.
And I'm
I
sorry to
agree.
take this over, but Ev, I think you did
Mm.
a great job on the psychology of it, because the way this series has been progressing, or these playoffs have been progressing for these both teams, Indiana, they know who they are. They're scrappy. They're gonna try to figure it out. The Knicks are still morphing, right? They're still in their
Mhm.
adolescence, although some would say their ceiling is higher, right? Because they have greater players, but they're still trying to figure out. So I love that
Yeah.
analogy, man, because I think it really sets the stage for what's going on. But I didn't mean to jump into that. But yeah, I'm sorry, but as the biggest Cat
Nah,
hater,
man, you supposed to
Be
jump
quiet.
into that. That's what we
I
do in this
don't
three on
think
three.
I don't
Listen,
think
it's
Miles
quiet.
That's
Turner
what we
shouldn't have
do.
nothing for Cat. Cat should look
The
at him like
Nah,
a fool.
the answer to your
it's
question though,
look,
before you go, Lou, let me
uh,
just say the answer to your question though is Knicks and 6. Okay, there you go. But
6. Come on,
go
man.
go
Sweep
ahead,
them.
Lou. Go
Go
ahead, Lou.
ahead, Lou.
nah, man, I ain't gonna go too much because again, my guy, he laid out a lot of what is the basis of um this series. I mean, it's great, right? We have two teams with two stars somebody's going to the finals, right? We can talk about all four, right? But in terms of this Eastern Conference, we got two stars who are potentially going to be up to win a chip for the first time, which I think now that they see it in their purview, like, oh, this is reality now. I just got to get through you to get there. I think there's going to be a level of this we seen in this game, right? A lot of the old players there. We see Steph, we see Patrick. I mean, we see all these guys are there, and we're gonna see Larry at this Indiana game. We're gonna see Reggie. I think there's going to be a lot more in terms of the
You think
intangibles,
Larry's coming out?
the outside of it. That's gonna make this an even more exciting series. That's gonna bring back some old rivalry. But in terms of some of the stuff and why I mentioned, Turner top end, athletic enough, may be able to, but do I think he has anything for Cat? No, he's not as skilled all around, right? He just has some athleticism, We've seen him in the dunk contest where he can do, et cetera, et cetera. But in terms of as a factor, in terms of affecting Cat, no. But I think Turner's going to play Cat tough enough where he's going to keep Cat honest for sure. You know what I mean? Similar size, and he can come out to that perimeter to get with Cat if he wants to do that. You know what I mean? And he can get with him post. Now, do I think again Cat is more skilled? Absolutely, but I think he's going to keep Cat honest for sure. Now, on the opposite end of it, is he necessarily going to dominate Cat on the offensive end? I don't believe so at all. I mean, I think what's going to happen is the offense, right? Because again, I think this also is going to be a coaching battle as well between Tibbs and Rick. I think they're going to also
That's
go back
the
and forth and
even
figure out
matchup
how do
right
we then
there.
say it again.
I said that's the most even matchup out of this series right there is the
And
coaches,
that's
in
what
my
I'm no, but I'm
opinion.
saying that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to what these coaches are going to do to use their
They're gonna
rosters.
stunt. They're gonna stunt at Cat. They're gonna stunt at Cat, and
Absolutely.
also
Absolutely.
they're gonna try to hide Halliburton. I think this is a series where Halliburton gets exposed defensively. They
Ooh,
need
hide him on the defensive
yes,
end.
they're gonna hide
Interesting. So you
him.
think they're
Yeah,
going
they're
to go
gonna
from a
hide
more
him.
from a zone?
Yeah.
If they play zone,
I don't think
that's
they're
going
gonna
to be
play
interesting.
zone, but they're gonna have to because if I'm honest, Halliburton, I go at him defensively. I think along with Cat, I think Mikel or OG needs to get off on this series as well too. because at the end of the day, like, yo,
OG is too
I don't.
iffy, man.
He is, but like he has his moments though where he gets off, and you're like, yo, who's gonna guard him? Like those two, yes, I know they,
Respectfully, man. OG and Buddy are the same person to me.
buddy hit.
That's funny.
You're not absolutely wrong there. I can't even knock you on that.
I'm just keeping it a stack.
You're not.
When
No, you're
OG
not
is
wrong. I
cold,
can't even knock you on that.
he is a glacier. He is a glacier. You know what I mean?
I
And
can't knock
no,
you
don't
on
get me
that.
wrong. He'll put the effort on the defensive end, right? Which I respect. Because like, okay, cool. It's not on for me tonight on the offensive end. Man, but yeah, when he is not on. He is not on. You know what I mean? And him as their third option, especially going against this Indiana team, needs to be on. I mean, he should be on because when
Well, it could be
Well, I
him or
think it's
Indiana,
Mikel though.
you
I
cannot
think
give
it's a
Indiana
3-8-3-B.
no type of confidence.
I think it's a 3-8-3-B because in part we've unlocked when to deploy Mikal.
Mhm.
And that was another important takeaway
So
from the
Mikel is
last
your three,
series.
your third
Yeah,
option.
yeah. I mean, it's Brunson. Well, it's Brunson, and then it's egalitarian. Outside of that, it's
I think he's your
fine.
2B. I
Find the
don't think he's
open
your
options.
3A. I think he's your 2B, to be honest.
I mean,
For
2B or
when
not
you've had your
2B,
most
right?
success as a win, that's the
That is
question.
the question.
But no, when you guys have had your most success, he's been your 2B.
I disagree.
If we're keeping it honest.
I disagree.
wow.
Cat
I
has
think
been.
I think we're at our best when we get 30 from Brunson and 20 from the other three, and then Josh filling in all the blanks. So I mean, if we continue with that, when you're able to get 90, 95 points from your starting five, okay, yeah, they play a lot. Leave us alone. When you're able to get 95 points from from your starting five, I think you're in good shape.
They sure do. They sure
Phone said,
do.
leave us alone. You funny as
Really,
hell.
All right,
He said, leave us
fellas.
really
alone.
100.
We gotta. He said really 100.
And then listen, Mitch is back. All right, hey, Mitch and Deuce, man, come on, man, Deuce and Mitch.
Look,
Shout
man.
out to those two. Man.
Listen,
We got
man.
a 7. We got a 7.
You
I
got a
told y'all
seventh
all
player,
season.
finally.
Just wait till we get Mitchell Robinson back. I've been telling y'all. For
That's what
weeks,
you've been
for
telling
months.
us.
I
The
ain't gonna
great
hold you.
hope.
So that's the last thing I would say about the Knicks. That
Oh my gosh.
defensive sequence when
I doubt it.
Mitchell
I doubt
moved
it. I'm
his
not gonna
feet
lie.
at elite levels, I was like, you know what?
But you
I may see why they talking about it.
but
I
you
may
bring
see
up
what they talking about.
we
I
joke
lost
about
hope.
it though. We joke about it, but how much of a factor is that going to play? Carlisle uses a lot more players than the Knicks. But what I will say, the Knicks have not shown fatigue in the last 2 series, right? They haven't shown it. Like that hasn't been a factor for them.
Because
As much
Tibbs
as we
has
want to ride
whipped it
them,
into them.
yes, they're conditioned, right? They're conditioned to the gods, right? That's the thing they've solidified their conditioning, not their identity, but their conditioning. They've solidified that. But
Nah,
Evan,
Tibbs has them running hills.
I know we got to move, but I tell you how we do it.
we got 4 minutes. You're good.
I won't take long. What they do is we take offensive series off, and so you'll see Brunson like 2 series in a row. It may just be one screen, and that may be the only movement. And it's like, Brunson, go get us something so the rest of us can rest. And we'll do that like 2-3 series in a row. So we're playing, we're playing 39 minutes a game, but they've slowed the pace down to the extent to where we'll take 3 offensive series off where it looks like we are, but we're not even getting into the action till like 10 seconds left. There's only one tiny bit of action, and we're conserving for defense. We get
So
into
my
that
question
a lot.
is this: when y'all do that, do you think that is something that you can do against Indiana, who has, again, we see them get high? You take them series off, and then they turn it up, and now they're up 12.
Well,
right?
we could do it from
And then
the
we know what
standpoint
happens.
of. My bad. I was gonna say we could do it from the standpoint of Brunson still gets good shots, but what you're describing is the exact chess match that we're up against, because we slow the pace down. In Indiana, they want to run every opportunity, and so they're going to try to turn us over, run even off of makes, and put pressure on Brunson 94 feet, 96 feet to tire him out as much as
Mhm.
possible. So it's going to
94,
be
you're
as
right.
much a pace battle as it is an X's and O's battle. And yeah, that's one of Indiana's strengths. When we've been successful against them this year, we've been able to mitigate that. They definitely used that against us when we were hurt last series. And let's not forget that
Mhm.
I was about to say, I was about to bring that
there's a
up
little
too.
payback. All right, there's a
Yeah.
little
Yeah,
payback
absolutely.
involved
But
there.
that's what I'm saying.
All right.
This resurgence of the rivalry is what I'm looking forward to for sure. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
This new age version of
Listen,
it
man,
with a little dab of man.
I'm gonna be real, man. I'm looking for it because I need everybody to shut Halliburton up, shut these Pacers up. I don't care. I don't care. I hate all these props
You
that
don't
are
want to
being
prove
given.
Draymond right?
Listen, all these props that are being given to Halliburton, he's not overrated. No, he is overrated. They had it right. I don't care. He's
That's
overrated.
interesting.
I'm here for it. And for me, I when I think of a superstar, right? Your team leader and all-star, I don't think of Halliburton. I just don't.
I
And
agree. I
and
agree.
I just I don't like guys who are confident and have a hubris that exceeds their play on the court.
But if he
That's
gets
my
to the
part.
finals, bro, he's gonna push.
Yeah.
He's challenging that thought. He get to the finals, you gonna have to wrestle with yourself about that.
No, if he gets to the finals, I'm
That's gonna
putting
be a
my
you
mic.
problem.
I'm putting my mic down. I'm
No,
walking away
no,
from
just
this
the same.
podcast. It's we're done. I'm gonna be sitting with Christian crying in the corner. Like that's what's gonna be happening. If
So we go. Can we record from Cancun?
listen, I'm gonna be crying in a corner. I'm gonna need the rest of
Nah,
the time
because
off
Evan's gonna be in New York while we in Cancun.
for mental health reasons. If the Pacers make it to the finals, like what are we doing?
So two
So
things about that.
here's a
Tay.
random question. Like in terms of the mix of that, like what is your answer for Siakam? Who is your answer for Siakam?
You talking about
Oh,
one
so
spin move, Siakam,
that's the
Mikel or
funny part
OG?
about it. That's the
Hey,
funny part about it.
hey, let's be real. He's
That
an
little
X factor for
Siakam
it.
OG
He's an X
battle.
factor.
Stop it, stop it, yeah.
You
Okay,
so you put OG on Siakam?
guys, let's be
Listen,
real.
Really?
Let's be real.
OG's out here to show him. Listen,
I'm
I
just
was the
fed up.
best player on that team.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Because yeah, as much as we give Evan flack, you're telling me the Bucks and the Cleveland Cavaliers were better defensively than the Knicks? Stop it. One spin move Siakam is going to be held in check by
One
OG.
spin Siakam. That's
Yeah, he
funny.
has that same spin cycle. Y'all need to stop. Like,
He's not as bad as Bam. Don't do that.
no, he's not. He's no. Drop step Bam.
Because you
Listen.
say Bam is that what? Oh, drop
No
step
drop
Bam.
step
Spin move
Bam.
Siakam. Drop step Bam.
Listen, man. Let's see. Siakam at least knows his move. He knows his move, and he got it to work. You gotta remember when you were younger and you were playing with your younger sibling or cousin, and you were playing Street Fighter or Tekken, and they just had that one button. They were just mashing
Oh my,
that button.
cheesing.
Yeah, cheesing, and they were
Okay,
low
so
kicking
what
you.
he's talking about so many times. We had a tournament of champions. I'm not even gonna bring that up right now.
Don't bring
But
it up, man.
listen,
Let it go.
just
That
know
was
we had a
decades ago,
tournament of
man.
champions, and Hans was never supposed to win a fighting game. We'll leave it
Listen.
at that.
Let it go, man. I win. That's all that matters. I won.
But what's
We
funny
get it.
about
Spin move
your
Siakam.
what's funny about your Halliburton take is I don't like him for the next week and a half, 2 weeks, but everything you're saying about what you don't like about him is actually why I like him. And it's
You would like him, man.
also what makes it so fitting that he is in Indiana doing this, because it just drives the Reggie Miller parallels through the
Oh,
roof.
100%. Great
Yeah,
Right.
value, Reggie.
Yeah.
100%.
absolutely.
Even down to the antics and
Great take
the
on that,
Mhm.
Lou, last week.
what did I do when he's the one initiating, dirtiness on the court.
Yeah,
And speaking of Reggie, trust me, he's gonna get it Wednesday night, commentating as well. Josh is gonna come remind him again what they're chanting. So like Lou
I
said,
gotta
we
give
back.
Josh respect because Josh really the garbage man of New York that everybody loves.
Listen, glue guy doesn't give Josh Hart justice. You're gonna.
No.
I've used this before, so I'm gonna let Hans get mad at me. I mean, we got Patrick Ewing and we got Josh Starks out there. All right,
Oh my gosh.
let's get this.
Stop
All right,
saying it's Patrick
Let's
Ewing,
move
bro.
on.
get
Stop
this, man.
disrespecting
Let's
Patrick.
go. Let's
Nah,
go.
yo, yes, let's move
Moving
on
on.
because you're
Moving
disrespecting
on.
Patrick, bro.
On that note,
A Hall
on
of
that
Famer.
note, let's move to the West. Let's move to the West Coast, fellas. All right, West Side. So we have the young guns, man, the young bloods here, the future
I love
faces
this.
of the league, the conversations that are being had
I
right
love it.
now. You got
I love
Ant-Man
it. I love it.
versus SGA in the Western Conference Finals.
Mhm.
There's so much to talk about. So much to talk about with this matchup. I'll say this. I've been seeing some interesting facts, man. One interesting fact is that LA or Texas is not in this conference finals or will not be in the finals in the first time for like years. That is an interesting
Amazing.
fact. That is crazy.
Amazing.
So I love that about that. Both of these teams have not had a championship. So that's crazy as well, too. So they have a possibility of
Minnesota
making.
has 5, but keep going.
You're right, they do, but
They have world was it world championships? That's
yeah,
what's going on.
Minnesota does have 5 because the Lakers were in Minnesota.
Yes.
You're right, so they do have 5, but that's currently constructed. That's currently constructed. So, but yeah, man.
Stop doing this. Stop doing this. Minnesota doesn't have
We're just waiting for the
5.
pod mama to jump in. Whenever
The
the pod mama
Laker
jumps in,
organization
we're
has
waiting.
5 from Minneapolis. The Wolves
That's it,
organization
Hans.
Minnesota,
has fucking
Minnesota has 5
zero.
championships.
Reel that big fish in,
The
right?
city of Minneapolis has 5 championships. and
Good.
We'll leave it at that.
That's fine. But the Wolves organization has not that.
It matters not who was the team. We just know the
Said
city of
nada.
Minneapolis is used to being a champion, and they
Shout
have
out to
championship
George
pedigree.
Mikan.
That's crazy, man. Lakers with no lakes in Los Angeles.
Hey yo,
man. I'm
Hans,
sorry,
chill.
my bad. I didn't mean to go there.
Before the
how y'all
show
keep-
time.
Yeah, how y'all keep the name too? They got some thieves, man. Thievery. I'm telling you, it's on brand for this Lakers.
Why does
Thievery.
Utah have the Jazz
Yeah.
name with a bunch of Mormon white people over there? They don't have anything Jazz related over there.
They like jazz music.
I mean, this
In
is
Utah,
fair.
in Salt Lake? No, they do not.
They like jazz music.
Salt
Mitt
like it.
Romney likes jazz music.
Why are we lying?
Mitt Romney once a
Why are we
year
lying?
does something where he does humanitarian.
Oh man, I'm telling
Just
you, man.
saying.
The Lakers are
Are
thieves.
there
You guys ever
Grizzlies
see
in
that movie?
Memphis? Are there
Huh?
Grizzlies in
Yeah.
Memphis? Because I know they
They're
were in
Vancouver.
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 Okay.
They're Vancouver.
There
We
are
gonna
bears
do
all
this?
over
We gonna do this?
the
We gonna talk about
there are
names?
bears all over the United States of America.
Okay, but in Memphis, I'm talking about Memphis specifically.
There's actually, yes, there was.
Yeah,
There
I was
was a
gonna
bear.
say, do you
Yeah.
know that there's not Grizzlies in Memphis?
There are. Matter of fact, this was in Tennessee. There was a grizzly in
Slight
the
stretch.
yeah, it's a stretch. It's still in the same state though, Ev. Relax. Oh,
Same state, yeah.
There was a
He coulda
grizzly
wandered.
We got Raptors
wandering.
in
We didn't know where
Toronto.
how far he was gonna go before they
We
stopped
got
him.
Raptors
don't-
in Toronto. Did Jurassic Park
Prehistorically, there
finally?
could be some fossils
Okay,
there.
did
You don't know
Jurassic
that.
Park finally?
Okay,
finally
where
happen?
did? Okay,
Listen, man.
you went a little farther.
Just know that Minneapolis has championship pedigree. That's all we're saying. You know what I
Raptors in
mean?
Toronto.
It's not uncommon, but here they are, ready to
Listen,
reclaim it,
for
regardless
the
of the
Lakers.
name of the team that represents
Let us
the
know in the
league.
chat if there's Raptors in Toronto, please.
Let us know. You're watching on YouTube. Let us know, man, if there's Raptors. If you saw a Raptor sighting.
Hey, yo, chill out, yo. Hey, yo, chill out.
Also, let us know if you've seen a lake in LA. I'm just saying.
Oh.
If you've seen a natural one, not a man-made one.
Not made.
Yeah,
Exactly.
not man-made, a natural lake. All right, y'all. Let's get back on task. I'm sorry. We're done. We made our prerequisite Laker reference. We filled our quota. We filled our quota. Let's move on. All right, y'all. Battle of the Titans. I'm definitely
still
looking
made our
forward to
quota.
this series. I'm excited about it. I am now willing, because I'm a man of my word, I am willing to acquiesce and say Shea is the MVP. Because like I said, the winner of the last series is the MVP. Shea is the MVP. in my book, in my personal records book, he's definitely earned it. I'm excited about the series because it's the young guns, man, and there's stories on both sides. Before I turn it over to Ev, I kind of set the stage, similar to what he was saying, man. You have this Minnesota team
He
who
could kick rocks.
is
He had the Knicks. I'm taking this. F you.
okay. Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead, my bad, Lou. Go ahead.
My bad,
Um,
my bad. I was just talking trash.
no, you're right. Ev had his golden
Hot
time with the
mic,
Knicks.
hot mic. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, man,
He
turn your
said
mic off. Put it
he
on
said it
mute.
with his chest.
He did. He did. We have the Ant coming up, you know what I'm saying, off of a restructuring of the team with Randall. They bounced back and finished strong in the season. You have OKC, who's been riding high and demolishing teams all season. Shea working at an MVP level. All these talks about Jalen. Did he show up last season? This is the stage. This is where they culminate. Lou, this Clash of the Titans, man.
He-
Which one of these
you
YNs
know,
are you
in
thinking has the
true
edge?
3-on-3 fashion, we're gonna do a 3-on. You know, what I mean, we're gonna do a. You know what I mean, like we do the weave in the drills because I'm gonna give it to our dear brother Evan because I know he wants to touch on a particular Knicks thread that is true within this particular conversation. So, Ev, you got it. Come on, my dog. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I'll give you a
Talk to us.
soft layup if we're gonna go that route. I mean, X factor of this series definitely will be the continuation of Julius Randle's play. Um, Now, I will say, when by the time you all hear this show, you game one will have been over. Thunder did rout the Wolves in the second half, up 20 right now with 2 minutes to go. First half didn't look like that. We had Julius Randle come out, I think 20 in the first half, 4 for 5 from three, et cetera, et cetera. And they're going to need that continued production from him to support what Ant's going to give them if they're going to beat this team. What we've seen from the Thunder all throughout this year, not just this playoffs, is that they are a second half team, especially a fourth quarter team. They turn you
That's
over. They
100%.
they score in transition.
Absolutely.
And at least through first game of this series, it looks like that they're continuing to form. Now, since Lou gave me the floor, I will say before I hand it back to him that, in these times that we're experiencing in this world, I think it's very fitting that we are having a United States versus Canada battle here in the Western Conference Finals because Ant versus SGA is the battle that our countries have needed for these past few months. So I'm glad that this series lined up the way it did. And listen, Ant, you've got USA on your back. All right, you've got to carry it for the country, sir.
Patriotic over here, man.
I'm just saying, man. What you gonna do, Ant?
But fan moved to DC, and then he got right back on the
Oh,
way.
you're right. Yeah, real patriotic on
Fed
this,
got close to
man.
the monument, and then you know what I mean.
Right, I was about to
He
sing,
all that red,
oh,
white, and blue all
say,
over. Okay.
can you, man, this is, I was like, what show are we on right now? Like,
Oh man,
jeez, man, way
What
to
is
keep your
it?
job,
What was it?
man.
What was
love
it?
it.
What was
Love
the
Golly.
other side? No, 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 no. Yeah,
You
man.
know what? That's what it
America
sound
the
like when
Beautiful.
you
There we go. America the Beautiful.
oh
There we go.
man.
Jeez, man. I'm ashamed
Nah.
of. It's Haitian Heritage Month. Not a
You know
man. Get
what?
out of here,
So,
man.
hey, you know
Happy
what?
belated Haitian
Now that you
flag day,
brought
man,
up,
to all my souls. But
Yes,
continue.
sir.
I'm glad that you brought up because my dear cousin brought up something in terms of bringing up Haitian Heritage Month because there has been a particular player that as he has showed up throughout this series has been a low key X factor, my man. And who is that? That is our dear brother Dort. Quietly has been doing it on both sides of the floor. You know what I mean? And been able to hit timely shots and also play defense. in timely manner as well. So you know what I mean. Like I want to big up Dort, even though I know Jalen Williams has been the clear number 2 option, and you know his play, which has been criticized from last season, and he stepped it up, even though he had some odd moments, a la the loss into the Gatorade, you know what I mean, post game interview. But he's been able to kind of to step up, and then also you know the production they've been able to get from their bench, Strawweather and other players who are the other Jalen Williams as well, who's been able to ball out. But yeah, someone like Dort, who's been able to really be somebody who's been able to step up this series as well. And obviously, we've seen the great play of Chet and what we expected him to be. Now that he has had a full healthy season as well, and exciting to see. And then obviously, I mean, how like we talked about this, right? We both agreed whoever won the series between Denver and OKC would show who is the MVP for us, at least you and myself, the 3-on-3 podcast of who is our MVP. And Shea has stepped up to doing so, even though, you know, somebody may call him a free throw and or foul merchant, which I'm not gonna lie, there's some validity to that. You know what I mean? There's some he's been able to be almost Reggie Miller-esque in being able to how he's able to draw fouls, not necessarily full-blown flopping and falling all over the place, but also being able to maneuver himself to be able to get himself to the free throw line. I mean, in this game right here, as we're currently recording, being able to be 11 from 14 from the free throw line and scoring 31 points, we see that how effective he's been able to be in terms of getting himself to the free throw line and being able to get points, a lot of points from the charity strike. So
I know
OKC.
Go ahead, Lou.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead. I'm on.
I was gonna say, since it's over, let's just jump on it real quick. What is your initial reaction? OKC takes the win, 114 to 88. I'm actually disappointed. Lackluster performance from Ant. He is. I'll say this, and he said it. He pointed it out actually during the Lakers series. He has trouble reading defensive reads. So when they stun at him, when they give him different matchups, he has trouble analyzing that and finding his groove, and it takes him some time to kind of figure it out. He's slow on the uptake on the read on that. So that's definitely something he is hopefully working on right in the offseason for next year. But yeah, definitely
on the backside of that, of what you're talking about, is he credits White Dante as to being able to help him with that, right? And we see like the importance of having that type of leadership, veteran leadership, somebody who can then help you read these things, which, you know, I mean, obviously a team like the Knicks, I'm sure they would, you know, I mean, but crediting somebody who can help you see that.
Yeah, which is facts, but it still begs the question. These games are valuable, right? So you don't always have that one game to sacrifice to get it, right? Like you
especially in this conference finals.
Yeah, once you get past that margin game, like you don't have that. So it's definitely an interesting take to see. Go ahead, Av.
I was gonna say, and saw some in this game, and especially when Ant struggles, it's similar to Jason Tatum and similar to Jaylen Brown. He has a tendency to start relying on difficult shots because he's not getting into the flow of the offense. One of the things that I've noticed about Ant is kind of crazy, but I give him credit for overcoming it. Is he takes most of the same shots that he took at Georgia. Let's be clear. He just started making those shots.
He is who he is.
That's what he got better at it. That took him from being a 22 point average player to getting into 27, 28 point per game type player. Get better at it.
But even in this game, you know, watching some while we were recording, especially the first half before we got started, OKC was doing a great job of when they brought the screen up to try to open it up, to stun them, basically double them off the screens, not let them turn the corner, and force them to fall for their jumper, right? Fall for that difficult 3-pointer. And OKC, that's going to be their game plan the whole series, to get him into his worst habits. Their ability to move the ball, that secondary action, whether it's getting it, through Randall quickly, getting more off of Reed when he comes out, in the bench, and Jaden McDaniels, who, what you say about OG is kind of how I look at Jaden McDaniels from an inconsistency standpoint, right? Somebody that can give you 23 one game and then give you 3 for the next 3 games.
Agreed.
They're going to need a lot more from him if they're going to have the firepower to withstand OKC's onslaught.
You know who he needs to watch? He needs to watch 2 people. He needs to watch Luka, and he needs to watch some old Steve Nash video on when they stunt you on this. No.
Being Ant.
Ant.
He
He
going
being
back to
Ant.
Ant.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jaden McDaniels don't need to watch.
No, he don't need to watch. No.
I was about to say Jaden McDaniels cooked.
No. So when they stunt you off the screen, right, to get the ball out your hand while you're turning that corner, that's where Ant gets in trouble, right? And he either does that fadeaway shot that's a degree of difficulty, low percentage shot, or he does a bad throw, it's out of bounds. Luka does a great job of passing out of those, right? Like right when you're turning that corner, right at the stunt, his eyes, his court vision, like it's impeccable. Like, I'm sorry, it's impeccable. It's Joker level, honestly, if we want to be real. But Joker, because he's a little lumbering and he has the height advantage, he doesn't have to turn the corner as much as these guards have to, right? I think Ant needs to watch that, because if we're honest, he's playing the point guard position, right? He handles the ball more, he distributes more. So I think he needs to unlock that part about when they stunt and he's turning that corner, the right read. And also, his players need to help him out by cutting. They need to help him out by cutting, so it shifts the defense. So that way it opens up pockets for him to pass into. So I think that's something that he's going to learn. I don't know if it's something he'll pick on, he'll get this quickly. But if you're going to be handling the ball as much as he does, right, essentially being the point guard, you need to have that court vision coming off those stunts on the screen.
I think that happens the most effectively when Connolly ends up on the floor, right? And obviously Connolly is, yes, he's a veteran and he's not going to get those minutes that he used to get over at Memphis and so on and so forth.
It doesn't happen when Conley's on the floor.
Then the problem is you got Gobert in the middle.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's really what it is, because I think that Ant is moving the way he needs to move. I think Gobert is the one that's really the what's it called.
Well, what I'm saying with Conley on the floor. With Conley on the floor, Ant doesn't do that. So when Ant's being stunted, you get what I'm saying? When Ant's being stunted, he has, if you look at it, he doesn't know. It's like he's caught up in the air. You know what I'm saying?
It's not the second nature that where he already, he's not
I'll
seeing
give you
the
an
second and third progression of what it is. That's what I'm saying. When Connolly's on the floor, at least if Connolly's able to when he does bring up the ball,
right,
Ant has the opportunity to then, when they're running through their progressions, he doesn't get hit with that initial stunt. So he has the opportunity to get into the spaces that he's comfortable in, even not all the time, but he's able to then get into the spaces where he's comfortable in to be able to.
I agree, but at the end of the day, though, most of the time the ball's gonna be in Ant's hand, so he needs to develop that skill. And I say that because y'all know favorite player is y'all know who my favorite player is, right? So
who is it, Hans? Who is it, Hans?
We know the one who suffered another
who is it, Hans?
Injury, man. No, because Ev's gonna call me a hater, and I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. The letter
don't worry about what Ev is saying. Stand on what you say.
Okay, Dame Dollar. All right.
Okay. So, there we go.
Here's the difference. Dame Dollar had the same issue, but you know what he did? He got his shot better, so he can make those shots, right? And I don't think Ant is ever going to
force his defense
shoot.
to be honest on that, react to that.
Right. I don't think Ant is ever gonna shoot like Dame is, right? Or shoot like Curry is, right? Or shoot like Durant does, right? So I
Yeah.
think it'll be quicker, better for him if he gets that court vision. That's why I was going there.
Mhm.
Because if you look at the players,
So
like LeBron had to learn it, right? But LeBron had that court vision, right? So Luka has the
yes,
shot and the
but that was
court
innate
vision,
with him.
which is what makes him dangerous.
Absolutely.
Like Ant doesn't necessarily have that core vision to pass correctly out that double team, and he doesn't have the shooting efficiency to make those difficult shots like a Curry or a Dame Dollar, etc. So that was
Agreed.
basically my point with that one.
What I'm saying on the opposite side of it is what we see with Shea. We see Shea Gilgeous how to make that right decision every single time. And
You're 100%.
the difference of what he does, he doesn't rely on that perimeter shot, right? He is all the way good with like, let's get in that mid range. Because
Yeah, he does it off the mid range, 100%.
1,000%. Doesn't mean he can't do it on the perimeter, but he hasn't acquiesced his game to like, yo, I'm only going to settle for the perimeter shot. I'm going to do the best play possible. And look, I can kill you here, but I'm also seeing what the best play possible is. And we saw that in him versus Joker in that series of who is doing the moving the offense or moving the defense in the way that they see the holes are, so they can be able to make the best play possible. And I don't think that's really what's going to be the Achilles heel in playing OKC when it comes to
that's going to be
with Minnesota.
I think that's definitely going to be the difference makers. But we got to wrap it up, guys. We're tough on time. It's going to be a great series, Clash of the Titans. As always, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Please check us out on our YouTube. See our lovely faces and interactions. Hit us up on our social medias. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Hey, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, give us a thumbs up. If you really, really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you can keep up with us every week. Be sure to follow us on all our socials at the 3on3 Podcast. Hey, got a question, topic you want us to talk about? Hit us up on our email at 3on3podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate y'all. Tune in next week.